As Diddy faces federal charges, experts say the best move he could make right now is to stay silent.
Diddy won't testify because it can make things way worse for him in the trial.
Sean Diddy Combs won't testify at his bombshell trial, as defense makes shocking decision not to call witnesses.
According to former federal prosecutor Mark D. Chutkow, putting Diddy on the witness stand would be like walking into a lion's den with fresh meat strapped to his back. In other words, it's not just risky, it could be disastrous.
Legal experts like Mark D. Chutkow say that Sean P. Diddy Combs testifying could do more harm than good.
Chutkow, speaking to People, explained that the case against Diddy is already stacked with what he called a mountain of evidence. Because the prosecution has charged the case as a racketeering conspiracy, they've been able to present a wide array of alleged misconduct, painting a detailed picture of Diddy's behavior. If he were to testify, that door would open even wider.
If Diddy were to put on a defense case and it fell flat, he might put himself in a worse position.
The prosecution could use cross-examination to introduce even more examples of alleged wrongdoing, digging deeper into areas that the defense might prefer to keep off limits. If Diddy were to take the stand, Chutkow warned, the prosecution would be able to pile on even more evidence of bad acts. In a trial where every word matters, Diddy's testimony could easily backfire. Each answer he gives could be used to challenge his credibility, highlight inconsistencies, or bring new and damaging information to light. That's why the decision for Diddy not to testify, or to call witnesses in his defense, isn't about surrendering. In fact, it may be his smartest move yet.
Sean Diddy Combs won't testify at his bombshell trial, as defense makes shocking decision not to call witnesses.
Legal analysts say that in complex cases like this one, choosing silence can actually be a strategic advantage. Instead of presenting new evidence, the defense is relying on the cross-examination of the government's witnesses to cast doubt on the prosecution's story. There was no need to take up any more of the jury's time, Chutkow noted, because the defense already showed enough reasonable doubt during their cross-examination of the government's witnesses. By stepping back now, the defense team can focus on one of the most important principles in our justice system: that Diddy is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and more importantly, the burden of proof falls entirely on the prosecution. In closing arguments, which are expected to take place on June 26, 2025, the defense can now point to that lack of additional evidence as a sign of confidence. They can argue that they've already created enough uncertainty in the jury's minds and that the government hasn't met the very high standard required for a conviction. Chutkow added that had Diddy gone forward with his own defense, especially if it were to fall flat, it could have done more harm than good. A weak defense presentation could leave jurors with more questions than answers and potentially reinforce the government's case. He might put himself in a worse position, Chutkow warned. Instead of testifying or calling new witnesses, the defense may rely on reading stipulated evidence, such as text messages or emails, into the record. These materials, previously agreed upon by both sides, can be presented without the risk of cross-examination. That means they can't be picked apart or twisted by the prosecution, giving the defense a more controlled and secure way to make their points. Another former prosecutor, Nima Rahmani, also voiced strong caution about Diddy taking the stand. In May, Rahmani emphasized that any testimony Diddy gives in this trial could be used in the more than 60 civil cases still pending against him. Anything he says now could potentially come back to haunt him later. That's a huge risk. Even if Diddy managed to survive the criminal trial without a conviction, a single misstep on the stand could become evidence in the civil courts, where the legal bar for liability is lower than in criminal cases. One wrong answer could lead to financial damages down the road, or worse.
Diddy won't testify because it can make things way worse for him in the trial.
With jury deliberations expected to begin as soon as June 27, 2025, the clock is ticking. All signs point to a calculated and disciplined legal approach from Diddy's team. No dramatic testimony. No flashy witnesses. Just a careful effort to highlight weaknesses in the government's case and remind jurors that uncertainty equals acquittal. For someone like Diddy, whose celebrity status brings attention and scrutiny in equal measure, restraint may be his most powerful legal strategy. After all, in a courtroom, it's not about making headlines. It's about making a case. And sometimes saying nothing speaks loudest of all.
Just days before closing arguments in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, a spicy trove of new evidence has been released to the public, showing Diddy living large as he receives a massage from a woman and drinks a glass of bubbly while riding an exercise bike. The photos were shown to the jury as his last girlfriend, Jane, was on the stand. She testified anonymously under the pseudonym and was dating Diddy until his arrest. She spoke fondly of him and her relationship, while Diddy smiled and nodded. Jane told jurors she and he would receive massages after hotel nights, her term for freakoffs, to help them recover. He also reportedly was a huge fan of using an IV. Testimony in the trial involving Diddy continued, with jurors being shown additional freak-off videos and communications between Diddy, his former girlfriend Jane, and his former personal trainer, Paul. Special Agent Joseph Cerciello was on the stand for the third day, questioned by Diddy's lawyer, Tenny Geragos. Geragos presented another freak-off video depicting Jane with a male adult services worker. The jury also reviewed communications between Jane, Diddy, and Paul. Agent Cerciello is the prosecution's final witness. Diddy's legal team will not call any defense witnesses. Closing arguments begin on Thursday, with each side taking at least 4 hours. Evidence includes photos of items seized from Diddy's mansion, like baby oil bottles. Diddy will not be presenting any witnesses in his defense at his significant trial, his lead lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, confirmed. This major announcement came before the jury entered the courtroom that morning. Instead of calling individuals to testify, Agnifilo informed the court that Diddy's legal team plans to introduce an array of trial evidence directly into the court record. This evidence, importantly, has reportedly been approved by the prosecution. This strategic move by Diddy's defense team represents a notable shift from previous expectations, as there had been earlier reports suggesting the possibility of several witnesses, including former employees and a psychology expert. By choosing not to call witnesses, Diddy's defense is signaling a reliance on challenging the prosecution's case through cross-examination and the strength of the evidence already presented. This decision places a strong emphasis on creating reasonable doubt without having Diddy himself or others testify directly. The outcome will depend heavily on how effectively the defense can use the established court record to counter the allegations. Judge Arun Subramanian made a ruling that the content of certain videos was too sensitive for public viewing. Consequently, the monitors at Diddy's defense table were turned off, preventing anyone in the courtroom gallery from catching glimpses of the footage. Despite this, Diddy was observed craning his head, seemingly attempting to catch a glimpse of the video playing on another monitor positioned on a defense table further from the gallery and closer to the judge. One particular 2-minute clip, dated November 10, 2021, featured Jane with a male adult services worker identified as Sly during what Jane referred to as a hotel night, also known as a freak-off. The individual slated to be the prosecution's final witness in the trial against Diddy has concluded their testimony for the day and is scheduled to return to finalize their statements. This witness, Special Agent Joseph Cerciello, spent all of Monday detailing various charts of evidence related to the founder of Bad Boy Records. His testimony included presenting video footage of Diddy's former associate, identified as Jane, participating in events referred to as hotel nights or freak-offs. Agent Cerciello's testimony marks the conclusion of the prosecution's case. Furthermore, Diddy's legal representative revealed earlier today that the defense team has no plans to call any witnesses. This strategic decision means the proceedings are swiftly moving towards their final stages, with the defense opting to rely solely on the evidence already introduced and their cross-examination of the prosecution's witnesses.
Diddy could still win the trial, even if he's found guilty.
Here's everything you need to know about the Diddy trial.
As Diddy faces intense federal charges, experts say there's still a chance he could come out ahead, at least partially. Despite the dramatic testimony and disturbing allegations, former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani explained that if Diddy is not convicted on the most serious charges, it could be considered a victory. If the jury finds him guilty only on lesser charges and not the big ones, that would be a huge win, Rahmani said. Diddy's defense argues that the acts described were voluntary and mutually agreed upon. This suggests that even a partial acquittal could shape public perception and the long-term impact on his career. Former assistant describes life under Diddy's control. One of the most interesting moments in the trial came from Diddy's former assistant, identified only as Mia. She worked with him for nearly a decade and testified to an environment of strict control, and mistreatment. Mia told the court about long hours and outbursts. She shared how Diddy would throw objects during angry episodes, once a computer, another time a bowl of spaghetti. Mia said she never spoke out about her experiences, stating, "I was going to die with this." Her account painted a picture of someone trapped by fear and dependence, offering the jury a close look at the alleged environment behind the scenes. Scott Mescudi testifies about his Porsche and his dog being locked up during the Diddy trial. Scott Mescudi, known professionally as Kid Cudi, took the stand to share his experience with Diddy during a tense period in 2011. Scott had a brief relationship with Cassie, Diddy's longtime ex, which allegedly sparked a jealous outburst. According to Scott, Diddy broke into his home, tampered with his dog, and locked the pet in a bathroom. The most wild part of his testimony involved his luxury car. In January 2012, a Molotov cocktail found its way inside his Porsche, which he believes Diddy was behind. The jury was shown photos of the burned-out car, including its roof, which had been cut open for the cocktail to be tossed inside. Cassie Ventura's story opened the Diddy trial. Cassie Ventura, who dated Diddy for over 10 years, opened the trial with gripping testimony. She shared how her relationship with Diddy was draining, describing how it affected her music career and personal life. Cassie claimed that he pressured her into encounters she did not want, and said the recovery periods left her too exhausted to work. Her testimony aimed to show the toll of years of alleged control and mistreatment. Prosecutors also submitted photos of injuries Cassie claims were caused by Diddy, including a forehead wound that turned into a lasting scar, inside the inner circle allegations during the Diddy trial. Testimony throughout the trial has described a powerful inner circle that allegedly helped shield Diddy from scrutiny. Prosecutors say these close associates assisted in covering up incidents, maintaining a carefully curated public image for Diddy. Witnesses have alleged that this network helped facilitate inappropriate behavior and kept victims from coming forward. Defense attorneys argue that Diddy's high-profile lifestyle naturally involved loyal employees and business associates, but prosecutors claim this loyalty crossed the line into complicity. The debate now sits with the jury, as more former staff members take the stand. Dawn Richard steps forward and speaks on what she witnessed. Singer Dawn Richard, once a rising star under Diddy's guidance on the show Making the Band, also testified in the trial. Dawn described an unsettling incident where she saw Diddy physically harm Cassie Ventura. According to her, he struck Cassie and pushed her to the ground during a visit to his in-home studio in 2019. Dawn's testimony is one of the rare first-hand accounts from someone within Diddy's professional circle. Her statement added weight to Cassie's earlier claims and offered the jury an eyewitness view of one of the most serious accusations. What's next in the Diddy trial? The trial is expected to continue through 2025 until early July, with the prosecution side wrapping up around June 9th. With several more witnesses expected to testify, the case continues to build on a mix of personal stories, arguments, and public curiosity. While Diddy's defense insists that everything was above board and voluntary, the testimony from former assistants, artists, and friends paints a very different picture. Regardless of how the jury rules, the outcome will have lasting effects on Diddy's legacy and could redefine how power and accountability are discussed in the music industry. Diddy's mansion raid pics were released, and it's worse than we thought.
So the federal agent testifying about the inventory of stuff found at Diddy's Miami home, and it's kinky stuff and dangerous stuff.
The feds released pictures of Diddy's Miami mansion raid. There was ropes, chains, lube.
Federal officials have released new photos taken during a March 2024 court-authorized search of Sean Diddy Combs' lavish home on Star Island, Miami.
Sean Diddy Combs, a federal agent, took the stand, giving more detail about the raid on Combs' home in Miami last March.
The images, introduced as evidence in an ongoing federal case, offer a rare and surprisingly detailed look inside the famous entertainer's private world.
Prosecutors showed the jury photos taken during the raid of Combs' Miami home.
Known for his bold style and iconic career in music and entertainment, Diddy's home reflects a carefully crafted image of luxury, with an unmistakable flair for individuality. The newly shared visuals have captured public attention, not for shock value, but for how closely they showcase a lifestyle that's rarely seen outside of glossy magazine features.
The feds released pictures of Diddy's Miami mansion raid. There was ropes and more high heels than Magic City.
Diddy had anything you could imagine at his mansion. The interior of Diddy's mansion tells a story of taste, excess, and personal design. Investigators documented an array of items ranging from designer wardrobe pieces to high-end accessories that likely took years to curate. Among the more eye-catching discoveries were racks of stylish footwear, upscale personal items, and collections of apparel that seemed prepared for themed events or private gatherings. Each room had a distinct feel, with decorative touches that suggested great attention to mood and detail. There were some contraband items found there as well, which paint a great amount of detail as to what actually went down during the freakoffs. What went down on Star Island? Star Island is one of the most exclusive enclaves in the country. Located just off the coast of Miami, the neighborhood boasts a tight-knit row of multi-million-dollar homes, each more stunning than the last. Diddy's residence has long stood out as a centerpiece, complete with a waterfront view, private docks, and sweeping, resort-style architecture. Prior to this investigation, the home was primarily known for its glamour, occasionally featured in media profiles, and rumored to host luxurious parties and industry get-togethers. The recent court-released visuals pull back the curtain on what life behind those gates actually looked like, and it's nothing short of extravagant. The feds dropped the Diddy photos for the public. The photo release stems from a larger investigation currently underway by federal authorities. Homeland Security Investigations agent Gerard Gannon testified in court that he led the team responsible for the March 2024 search, which was conducted under a lawful warrant. The search and documentation were carried out as part of a broader inquiry into Diddy's professional dealings. While much of the case remains sealed or redacted for reasons, the government's decision to share images from inside the property suggests that prosecutors are starting to reveal more of their case to the public. What the photos of Diddy's mansion actually reveal. The released photos show more than just designer furniture or art pieces. They reveal a sense of how the home was lived in. Some rooms appear to have been set up as personal sanctuaries or specialized spaces, stocked with everything from luxury lounge seating to carefully organized closets. Other images show shelves filled with products that reflect Diddy's interest in wellness, self-care, and presentation. While nothing shown in the photos is necessarily out of place in a celebrity home, the sheer scale of personalization has captured curiosity. The home looks less like a showroom and more like a private retreat, tailored to fit one individual's daily rhythm. Diddy's trial has some major public interest. This new material is just the latest development in a case that has already attracted nationwide attention. Diddy is currently involved in a complex federal trial involving multiple claims. While none of the allegations have been resolved or proven in court, the decision to release detailed photos of his residence hints at the role lifestyle might play in how prosecutors shape their arguments. Diddy has strongly denied any wrongdoing and has filed responses of his own. The case is expected to continue well into 2026, and both supporters and critics are watching every new reveal with intense interest. The outcome could have lasting implications, not just for Diddy's career, but for how celebrity conduct is scrutinized in certain settings. Security guard Eddie Garcia says Diddy paid $100,000 for Cassie hotel footage.
Former Intercontinental Hotel security employee Eddie Garcia testified on Tuesday, claiming the rapper paid him off in an effort to make the footage go away.
Diddy allegedly dropped a massive $100,000 to make that horrifying hotel security video just disappear.
In federal court, security guard Eddie Garcia gave dramatic testimony involving Diddy and a hotel video from 2016.
Former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel. He said Diddy paid him $100,000.
Eddie claimed that Diddy paid him $100,000 in cash to obtain and destroy a surveillance video that showed an altercation between Diddy and singer Cassie Ventura at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles.
Former Intercontinental Hotel security employee Eddie Garcia claiming the rapper paid him off in an effort to make the footage go away.
At the time, Eddie worked for a private firm called Securitas, which provided security for the hotel. He described the footage as deeply concerning and said Diddy was determined to keep it from going public.
Sean Diddy Combs bribed hotel security guard $100K to hand over Cassie beating video.
Diddy called the hotel security guard to tell him it was fate they met. Shortly after the payment was made, Eddie said he received a phone call from Diddy on Easter. During the call, Diddy allegedly told Eddie, "Happy Easter, you are my angel. God is good. God put you in my life for a reason." Eddie testified that Diddy then asked if anyone had come asking questions about the video. When Eddie said no, Diddy reportedly replied, "Great," and instructed him to keep him informed if anything changed. The unusual nature of the call stood out to Eddie, who said it came across as a mix of gratitude and caution. How Diddy and his assistant pressured a hotel guard into giving them the tape. Eddie testified that just 2 days after the March 5, 2016 incident, he was contacted by Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff. She asked for his help in making the hotel footage disappear. During one of their early conversations, Coram passed the phone to Diddy, who sounded nervous and was reportedly speaking quickly. According to Eddie, Diddy admitted he had too much to drink and said, "With women, one thing leads to another." He also told Eddie that if the footage became public, it would ruin him. Eddie testified that this was the beginning of several conversations aimed at persuading him to hand over the video. Diddy paid double to bribe the hotel worker into not leaking the hotel video. Initially, Eddie told Diddy that he didn't have direct access to the hotel server that stored the surveillance footage. But after checking with his supervisor, Eddie learned that they could offer the tape for $50,000. When he passed this information on to Diddy, the artist reportedly became excited and immediately agreed to the deal. However, the final payment ended up being $100,000. Eddie said Diddy delivered the money in a brown paper bag after counting it using a money machine. The handoff reportedly occurred in an office building with both Coram and one of Diddy's bodyguards present. A confidentiality agreement was signed under pressure by the guard who saw Cassie and Diddy in the hotel. As part of the exchange, Eddie testified that he was required to sign a confidentiality agreement and a non-disclosure form. These documents stated that he would not speak about the video and confirmed that no other copies existed. The agreement included a penalty clause stating Eddie would owe $1 million if he violated the terms. Eddie, who was earning $10.50 per hour at the time, admitted he did not read the documents carefully. The goal was to get out of there as soon as possible, he said in court, adding that he felt overwhelmed by the situation. Diddy warned Eddie to avoid large purchases after he bribed him. After the transaction, Eddie said Diddy gave him personal advice, suggesting that he avoid making noticeable purchases with the money. Eddie interpreted this as a subtle warning to remain discreet. He split the money with others. $50,000 went to his boss, Bill Medrano, $20,000 to another security staff member named Henry Elias, and he kept $30,000. Eddie said he used part of his share to buy a used car in cash, keeping the rest out of the bank to avoid a paper trail. He also asked Diddy if there might be future job opportunities with him. Diddy sounded open to the idea, but Eddie never heard back. A second guard confirms he also saved a copy of the Diddy video. Despite Diddy's efforts, the video eventually surfaced in 2024 when CNN broadcast it publicly. It remains unclear how the footage was obtained, especially since Eddie believed he had given away the only copy. However, another hotel security guard later testified that he had recorded the video on his phone at the time and saved it to show his wife. This development has cast doubt on whether the original deal was successful in fully containing the incident. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all federal charges. Diddy could end up getting pardoned by Trump even if he is found guilty.
Would U.S. President Donald Trump pardon Diddy? That was the question posed to him on Friday.
First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage.
The courtroom drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs is grabbing headlines, but a new twist could take this story from the courthouse all the way to the White House.
It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right.
Diddy, who's currently facing a heavy trial, including a federal trial, may have a powerful option on the table: a possible presidential pardon from Donald Trump. And in a surprising development, fellow rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson says he's planning to speak directly with the former president about it.
50 Cent's going to the Oval Office, eventually, to have a chat with President Donald Trump about Diddy.
There's a big possibility Trump pardons Diddy. Former President Trump, known for issuing high-profile pardons during his time in office, has recently suggested that he would consider doing the same for Diddy, even if Diddy is found guilty in his ongoing case.
Would U.S. President Donald Trump pardon Diddy? That was the question posed to him on Friday.
During a recent interview, Trump was asked about the possibility of offering a pardon to Diddy. Though he didn't commit to any decision, he didn't rule it out either. That was enough to get people talking, and for 50 Cent to weigh in. 50 Cent speaks out about Trump pardoning Diddy. 50 Cent took to social media to share his reaction to Trump's statement. In one post, he wrote, "He said some really bad things about Trump. It's not okay. I'm gonna reach out so he knows how I feel about this guy." The comment sparked a wave of speculation online. Many believed 50 Cent was planning to convince Trump not to pardon Diddy at all, a claim that quickly went viral. But 50 Cent wasn't having it. He returned to clarify what he meant, saying he wasn't trying to sway Trump's opinion on a pardon one way or the other. Instead, he said his goal was to give the former president a clearer picture of Diddy's history, particularly what 50 claims are past comments Diddy made about Trump. In other words, 50 isn't necessarily trying to get Diddy locked up for good, but he also doesn't want the former president making decisions without hearing his side of the story. 50 Cent and Diddy are at odds with each other all the time. The relationship between 50 Cent and Diddy has never exactly been warm. The two artists have traded barbs in interviews and on social media for years. But 50 has turned up the heat since Diddy was arrested in late 2023. During the whole Diddy trial and incident, 50 Cent has posted memes, comments, and even an AI-generated image of himself wearing a Free Diddy t-shirt, poking fun at his longtime industry rival. While the posts are often humorous on the surface, they've clearly been fueled by strong feelings about the situation. Now, 50 says it's time to speak his mind in person, and not just to his fans. It's not every day that a rapper announces he's heading to the Oval Office, but 50 Cent seems serious. While no official visit to the White House has been confirmed yet, he told fans that he plans to meet with Trump directly to share his thoughts about Diddy and his history. What exactly that conversation will include remains to be seen. But 50's approach is consistent with his recent political tone. Over the years, he's been outspoken on a number of political topics, including taxes, business policy, and now criminal justice. People are worried Trump is going to pardon Diddy. It's not unusual for presidents to consider pardons for high-profile figures, and Trump has a track record of granting clemency to celebrities and TV personalities. He famously pardoned reality stars Todd and Julie Chrisley, which made headlines across the country. In Diddy's case, however, the situation is much more complex. The trial against him is ongoing and involves serious claims, including testimony from a former assistant using the name Mia. The court is still hearing evidence, and no verdict has been reached.
Diddy's ex-girlfriend, testifying as Jane, has revealed intimate details about their alleged encounters involving a male adult services worker.
What do Kobe, MJ, and Shaq have to do with one of the wildest celebrity trials in years?
Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend is giving more graphic and emotional testimony.
Jane testified that she, Combs, and the male escort would refer to themselves using the nicknames of NBA legends. Jane as Kobe Bryant, Combs as Michael Jordan, and the escort as Shaquille O'Neal.
Diddy's ex-girlfriend. She dropped one story that left everyone frozen involving a male escort, a nickname-heavy threesome, and a shocking metaphor that no one saw coming.
This trio allegedly called themselves the trifecta, and Jane described these arrangements as a recurring aspect of her relationship with Combs. She likened these encounters to hotel nights, stating they sometimes lasted up to 30 hours, often with Combs watching as she was with the service worker. These revelations about the NBA nicknames and the nature of the alleged encounters emerged during cross-examination by Combs' defense attorney. Jane also testified about meeting Combs in 2020, beginning a romantic relationship, and subsequently being introduced to the alleged hotel nights and fantasies involving other men. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, recently shared a video on Instagram showing herself dancing with Prince Harry in a hospital room while in labor with their daughter, Princess Lilibet. This playful moment was part of a viral baby mama dance trend and was posted on Lilibet's 4th birthday. The video quickly gained immense traction, accumulating over 23 million views in a single day, making it Meghan's second most viewed Instagram reel. In the clip, Meghan is seen wearing a black dress and cradling her baby bump as she dances before Harry joins in, both performing energetic moves in sync with the song's lyrics. Meghan humorously captioned the video, explaining that they resorted to dancing after trying spicy food, extensive walking, and acupuncture to induce labor, all without success. Reactions to the video were sharply divided. Many American viewers and younger audiences found it joyful, funny, and relatable, embracing its candid nature. However, some British commentators and royal insiders criticized it, labeling the content as cringe. In response to the negative feedback, a friend of Meghan publicly defended her, condemning the backlash and highlighting perceived double standards in how Meghan is treated by the media and public. A podcast episode featuring Brooke Shields criticizing Meghan was quietly deleted about a week after its release, with the link now leading to a page not found message. In the episode, Brooke recounted sharing a SXSW panel with Meghan, describing her as too precious and serious for repeatedly telling a story about protesting a dish soap commercial at age 11.
And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11, and she kept saying she was 11.
Brooke stated she worried the audience wouldn't want to listen to someone being precious or serious, so she interrupted Meghan, joking about her own childhood role in Pretty Baby at the same age. The episode's removal followed online backlash and debate. Neither Brooke, host India Hicks, nor Meghan have publicly commented on the deletion or controversy. Despite rumors of a rift due to the Justin Baldoni lawsuit, sources indicate that the friendship between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift remains strong. Speculation had suggested a strain after Taylor's name was mentioned in court documents, with claims that Taylor was distancing herself from Blake to avoid controversy. However, insiders have refuted these reports, confirming that there is no drama between the two. Taylor was indeed drawn into the legal dispute, with Justin Baldoni's team claiming her presence influenced a meeting with Ryan Reynolds. Her representatives made it clear she had no involvement with the film's set, and the subpoena issued to Taylor was later withdrawn. While Taylor has not publicly commented on the lawsuit, she continues to support Blake behind the scenes, affirming their enduring bond. Justin Bieber recently responded bluntly to growing fan concerns about his state of mind, telling a fan to worry about yourself, Gramps, after a meme about his well-being circulated online. This comment came amidst widespread speculation fueled by his recent cryptic social media posts and candid messages expressing fatigue with transactional relationships and struggles with public expectations. Fan reactions were divided, with some supporting Justin's assertive reply while others viewed it as a sign of something deeper, urging him to seek help. Friends and former collaborators have also voiced concern, with one reportedly describing him as lost and lacking people to set boundaries. Despite this, some insiders suggest Justin might be trolling his audience for attention and humor, drawing comparisons to Britney Spears' public persona. Justin's representatives have previously denied rumors of using stuff, stating he is focused on parenting and new music, calling negative speculation exhausting and pitiful. This incident highlights the ongoing public debate about Justin's well-being, privacy, and the pressures associated with his level of fame.
Diddy dances to his freak-off music in court.
The jury was shown explicit video clips of the freakoffs, which are at the heart of this case.
Diddy was spotted subtly moving to the rhythm during a key moment in court, as the jury was shown private videos tied to the ongoing case against him. Diddy appeared to bop his head to music believed to have been playing during the footage, as the courtroom quietly observed the clips from 2021 to 2022. Diddy adjusted his glasses, slipped on his headphones, and leaned in, craning his neck to get a better view of the monitor at the prosecution's table. The videos, which the prosecution claims are linked to gatherings they've referred to as freak-offs, were shown while everyone in the courtroom wore headphones for privacy. Prosecutor Maureen Comey controlled the playback from her seat at the front. Diddy is accused of misusing his influence and status to control aspects of his private relationships, though his defense team maintains the events were between consenting adults. While they acknowledge past personal issues, they argue there is no basis for the serious federal charges of trafficking or conspiracy. Prince Harry is planning to invite the royals to the 2027 Invictus Games, set to take place in Birmingham. Harry is said to have personally approved the guest list and the wording of the invitations, which insiders claim will be emailed to Buckingham Palace, followed by formal invitations closer to the event. According to sources, King Charles and Prince William are expected to receive the invites, marking the first public outreach Harry has made to his royal relatives since the well-publicized rift began over 5 years ago. The royals have always been hugely supportive of Invictus and proud of what Harry has achieved in that arena. This is one olive branch from him that might be reciprocated, a source told the Daily Mail. However, the timing could complicate things. The games run from July 12th to 17th, coinciding with Queen Camilla's 80th birthday, which already has celebration plans underway. It remains uncertain whether Meghan Markle and the couple's children, Archie and Lilibet, will attend, especially as Harry has previously raised concerns about security. Royal commentators say forgiveness is possible, but trust remains a major hurdle. Jay-Z threw some shade at Kanye West during a surprise performance in Paris. Jay-Z appeared to throw some subtle but unmistakable shade at Kanye West during a surprise performance at Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour stop in Paris. Jay joined his wife on stage at the Stade de France for a special medley of hits, including a performance of In Paris, originally a 2011 smash from his joint album with Kanye, Watch the Throne. But fans quickly noticed a major lyric change. Instead of rapping the original line, "Just might let you meet Ye," Jay-Z swapped in a nod to his wife, "Just might let you meet Bae." The moment was captured on fan footage and quickly made the rounds online. The change comes just months after Kanye made comments online about Jay-Z and Beyoncé's children, sparking widespread backlash. Though Kanye initially apologized, he later walked back his remorse in an interview and made additional crude remarks. Sources close to the Carter family say the couple has been weighing their response carefully, and they won't tolerate disrespect toward their family. Jay-Z's onstage edit may have been a subtle yet powerful statement, one that made it clear where he stands now. Justin Bieber is saying he's getting the silent treatment from Hailey. Justin Bieber raised eyebrows over the weekend after sharing a cryptic message about getting the silent treatment, shortly after his wife, Hailey Bieber, was spotted multiple times without her wedding ring. Justin reposted a video to his Instagram stories featuring a content creator venting about the emotional toll of being ignored. "If you're giving me the silent treatment, at least tell me why," the person says in the clip. "I have anxiety and I have overthinking. If you give me any room for error, there will be error." The post came just days after Hailey was seen without her signature diamond ring while out in New York City. She was first photographed without it at a breakfast outing in the West Village, and later again during a dinner with fellow models Suki Waterhouse and Camila Morrone. Although the couple has dismissed rumors of marital trouble in the past, their relationship has continued to spark speculation. Hailey recently told Vogue that she's tired of outsiders making assumptions and insisted she and Justin are focused on their family and their 10-month-old son, Jack. Amanda Bynes is taking Ozempic. In a candid Instagram story, Amanda revealed she's been focused on a wellness journey with the goal of feeling more confident in front of the cameras.
"Oh, I'm going on Ozempic. So excited. I'm 173 now."
Amanda shared that she's using Ozempic, known for supporting health goals, as part of her routine. Amanda explained that her motivation is to feel her best in photos, especially when unexpected paparazzi moments happen. Amanda mentioned that she hopes to go from her current size to a smaller one that she feels more comfortable with, emphasizing that it's all about feeling good in her own skin. She also promised fans that she'll be sharing regular updates about her progress, giving followers a peek into how she's working toward her goals. After facing several personal challenges over the years, Amanda seems focused on finding balance and embracing a fresh start. Her message to fans was clear: health, confidence, and self-care are her new priorities. And she's excited to bring everyone along for the journey.